Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. This is a quick review of my new Sailor fountain pen that I got. So this is my second fountain pen, so I am a bit of a fountain pen novice or amateur, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know much about them, but I'm just kind of dabbling into them, and I'm quickly falling into a rabbit hole. So my first one was this pen, is the Pilot Vanishing Point pen, which is a one of the retractables pens, which I love. So I have this one, but and this one is my second one. So the reason why I'm doing a review on this one was just because I haven't seen a lot of reviews, and when I was looking around for this pen and I was looking for reviews, I wasn't able to find much on them. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick review of what I thought. So this pen is one of the more affordable Sailor pens. I was originally looking into the Pro Gear Slim line. I specifically into the mini ones because I was interested in those. But if you guys know anything about these pens, they're pretty expensive. So I think it was the one I wanted was close to like $300. And so I was like, oh, okay. Maybe not. So I was just looking for, cheaper versions, and I came across this one because I've been wanting a pink one. And this one kind of gave me the similar vibes of the Pro Gears. But this one, I don't know exactly what line it is or anything like that. I know that it's one of the cheaper ones, and I found it on the Japan Amazon site. And I paid, this was, I want to say, around 50 some dollars, close to $60 US dollars when I bought it. I mean, I'll link the specific one down below, like the number of the pen. They have like this serial number 11-05 something. So I will I will put that below specifically, so if you wanted to check it out. So I use Amazon Japan for a lot of my pens, and that's where I got this pen from, as well as my Pilot Vanishing Point pen. I got it from the Japan Amazon site because it was cheaper here. And at the time, I want to say Jet Pens and everyone was sold out of the extra fine that I wanted. So I just picked it up here. And this one right here is the one that I got. And so it has this, this fancy number here, which I'm assuming is the serial number or the type of pen that it is. This one, it says it's part of the Four Seasons, the Weave Moon and Night Water line. And this color is Night Cherry Blossom in Fine Point. So the one that I have is Fine Point. So I tend to like the thinner nibs, so that's why I kind of tend to go towards more of the Japanese fountain pens, because I do like the finer nibs. And in my Vanishing Point here, this one is an extra fine, and this one is a fine. It says that it's 7.13 inches long, so it's, if you have, let me compare it to my Vanishing Point here. So I mean, it's comparable to the Vanishing Points. Let's see some of our regular pens. This is my regular Hobonichi ballpoint pen, so it's all, I want to say it's like regular pen size, if that makes sense. So it fits really good. One thing I noticed really right off the bat when I got this pen was that it's significantly lighter than my Vanishing Point pen. This one, you can feel there's a weight to it. You can feel like like it feels expensive, if that makes sense. But this one feels very light, kind of just plasticky. So I'm assuming that this is plastic. But yeah, I really do love the gold hardware on this. And it does say Sailor here, Japan, founded 1911. Oh, which is probably why it always says 1911 on their nibs. But as you can tell here, the body is very pretty. You can see the iridescent kind of shimmers in it. One thing I noticed though, like when I looked on the website on Amazon, it did look a lot more pink. Like I thought that the pen was going to be pink, but in real life, and I think even in this video, you can kind of see more of like a purplish, like a lavender lilac-y tone to it. But I want to say it's not as lavender. I think in real life it is more pinky, but not as pinky as it looks on the Amazon site. I don't know if that's more confusing, but so it's like a darker pink color and it looks more like a baby pink on the website. So I would say it's not really baby pink. It's more of a darker mauvey pink-ish color. So I was hoping for like the lighter pink, but it's still beautiful and I still love it. So it is a screw to get it undone here. I already put in, it came with a cartridge, so I kind of already inserted the cartridge in and I started using it. One downside that I noticed is, like, I mean, if you look at the nib, it's beautiful. You can see the 1911 and their Sailor logo on it, but you see how my ink is kind of on the nib, and I can't get it off, and I had to Google it, and it was saying that it's called ink creep or something like that, and it's just part of having a fountain pen, I guess. But it bothers me, and when I was doing prepping for this video, and I was trying to get the ink off, and it was one of those things where you try to wipe it off and more goes on it, and it was horrendous. So sorry if this bothers you, how messy and dirty it is, but I really did try my best to get it all off. But it is quite beautiful. It's a steel nib is what it says on the website, but it looks gold, so I'm assuming it's just plated that way. But yeah, it is beautiful. I will say that it is definitely, thicker than my extra fine Pilot pens. So I usually do like to post my pens like this, and I will just use it like this. So it feels really good in my hand. I'm not gonna lie, it feels really good. I have been writing with it consistently, and I do love it. So let me do some writing sample here for you. So this is my regular Hobonichi. Here you go. It's a blank page. Well, not blank, but so it's definitely thicker than my Pilot. Here, I will compare it here. Extra fine. So you could kind of see the comparison there. But it's, super smooth. Super smooth. One thing I do find though is, generally I write, like this. So not exactly, here, I write like this. So not exactly like a 90-degree, I do go at a slight angle as when I write comfortably like this. But I find that if I use this pen kind of on the side like this, which is kind of like perpendicular, if I write like this, I can get a thinner line. than if I was to write like this. And I hope you guys can kind of tell the difference here. Do you see that? Like this one, I wrote kind of this way, like this with it. And then this one, I wrote like this with it. And it just gave me a thicker line. So that's kind of the trick I use to write with this, because like I said, I do like a thinner line. And so I'll just kind of write with it like this on the side, like this, as opposed to like this. Do you see how it's, I don't know, I could tell a difference. I don't know if you guys can. But yeah, when I just write normally like this, I feel like there's more, the ink flows a little bit more freely than if I write on the side like this, and I'm able to get thinner lines. So that's one point on this that I wanted to reiterate, that if you like the thinner nibs, and that is kind of like the trick, because I don't think this comes in an extra fine. I wasn't able to find that, so it only came in either a fine or a medium, I believe. So yeah, I do love it. But one, pro thing too is when I first, thought about fountain pens, I thought of like calligraphy pens for some reason. I thought they were the same thing. So yes, and as I said, I'm a novice here. I thought it was the same thing. So when I first got my vanishing point pen, I would try to like press it down a little bit harder to see if I can get a bigger flow of ink. But and I guess you can to a certain extent, but you don't want to I feel like I'm gonna break it, or I'm ruining the nib or something. And so I don't, put any pressure on my nib with this one. But then I found out with this one, because it is more of the ink flows a little bit better, that I'm able to kind of put more pressure on it and get more line variation if I wanted to. So, I mean, that could be a plus or a minus for you. For me, not so much, because I don't really want to, I just don't like the thicker lines as much. But you can see here in my planner here, like here, I was able to kind of do a little bit of, I don't know, hand lettering, if you want to call it that, or calligraphy, whatever you want to call it with it. So it is just, you can see how much thicker it is, even though it's a fine. So yeah, that's another thing to point out. Another factor that I noticed with this pen is that I think it's because it is a little bit more free flowing, that the ink gets a little bit more messy, like I said, on the nib. But also I've noticed ink in the cap. And I'm like, why is there ink in the cap? And I guess it must be just kind of when I close it, sometimes it just rubs, like this part, because it's so inky, it kind of rubs on the sides. So I have to, and I'll just go in with like a Q-tip, like this or something, and I'll just go like that, and it cleans itself, so it's not really an issue, but something to note that it might get a little bit more messy than other, like this pen for sure, because it's retractable. So that's another thing. But overall, I am very happy with the purchase. I still do want to kind of dabble in and still get the Pro Gear Mini, just to kind of see and compare, because of all the reviews that I've seen, and if you guys have it, and you guys can comment below and let me know, all the reviews I've seen, everyone talks about how fine the nib is, and how a lot of them come in like the medium fine point, but that's like the fine of regular nibs and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little curious, because if this is a fine and it writes like this, then I don't think I can do a medium fine. That's going to be too thick for me. I might need to look for an extra fine sailor. So if you know and you have one, then definitely let me know. Comment below and let me know, because I'm very interested, but I don't want a thicker nib than this. I want something probably a little bit lighter. Even this might be a little too thick for me. But like I said, I can, work with it by writing with it in a different way. But let me know. Yeah, so let me know if you have this pen and how you like it. And thanks for watching. Bye, guys.